One of the shifts that is happening with the humans is their consciousness and awareness. Tonight, I just want to give you encouragement. The world looks like it's in a really crazy predicament. And everywhere you look on social media, at least for me, there's like chaos, it looks like. Take a step back and realize you're looking at a little screen, and this is like a little snippet of the entire world. Just a little snippet. And then all the little snippets of chaos are being brought right in front of you to your little screen. So in your mind, you're like, the world is in chaos. And this may not be true for everybody, but I know for me, if I step out my door and look down the street, nothing's going on. The trash man's coming, people delivering mail, just the normal routine. Here's the danger of the social media. It can bring chaos from one place to another place because it'll put the ideas in your mind of things are in chaos and you need to be in turmoil and mad at somebody. And so, whether you like it or not, you may find something to get aggressive about and be mad about or start an argument about. So, you're taking all that information from that little screen that creates chaos inside of you, and then you spread it somewhere else, not even knowing you're doing it. Maybe it's just getting in a heated argument about politics. Well, I shouldn't be doing this. President this, Republican, Democrat, blah, blah, blah. And it's creating more division and more chaos. And then you're taking that and you're spreading it. And then what you spread spreads to somebody else. Well, the world has to go through a metamorphosis when it changes. Just like a butterfly, when it's in that cocoon, all the guts and everything are liquefied and they're just all, sorry, microphone, they're all changing up and they're getting reorganized. How many times in life have you gone through change and it was like chaotic and you come out on the other side and you're like, oh, now I understand what that chaos was for. Now I see that there was actually, in a weird way, a plan for this stuff to fall away or to change. So, right now, with the way nature works, the pendulum has been pushed way out of balance for nature because you have humans that have come in like, we're going to put buildings everywhere. We're going to have cars everywhere. We're going to have computers everywhere. And we're going to own everything. And we're going to do whatever we want, treat humans however we want. We're going to literally do whatever we want because uh, some of us have tons of money and we can pay people to get rid of their morals or their heart. And so we have just trashed the earth. And that pushes nature way out of balance. Because if you go into nature and look around, there's a harmony. There's bees going around pollinating, there's birds getting worms taken into their babies, and just everything has a symbiotic nature that works together and it is cohesive. And then you throw humans in the mix. What the fa? Like, dang it, we're just gonna go shit on everything. So I was saying that pendulum is pushed way, 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 way out of balance. And as time progresses, nature pushes back hard against that pendulum of humans holding it there as long as possible. And when that pendulum swings back over here really far, is wanting to find that place where it's just calm and at rest. But when it goes and it swings back over here, it takes a while to find that balance or that spot where there's no energy in it, it's just resting. So it has to swing way back this way, then way back this way. And it's chaotic while things are going through change and shifting. And go look this up, the fourth turning, because we're in the fourth turning. We've gone through several eras. We went through like the agriculture era, the industrial era, and we're moving into the technological era. And as we move into a new era, everything's going to go into chaos. Like there's people that just want to stick to the old ways and it can't change. And we're just going to be a-holes and just not accept that things are changing. Well, freak. Seasons come and go. You can run out there and hug that snowman, but it's going to melt. And the summertime is going to come. And you can get mad and scream at nature all you want, but it's going to change. And I'm going to step out on a limb here and say something that, coming from my background, is not cool to say this, but one of the shifts that is happening with the humans is their consciousness and awareness being upgraded, basically, to be aware of what is happening and to truly look at themselves and change themselves, and for the veils to be dropped. And if you have gone through this experience, you know exactly what I want to talk about next, or you know exactly what I am talking about. When the veil is dropped, the illusions that you're told are no longer applicable, because those illusions use words and images to build a image of what things are in your mind. But when those words and images no longer land and you see it for what it is, you pull the curtain back and you see the little old Christian man back there. I don't like Christians. I'm just throwing that out there. Back there pulling like the wheels and blowing the steam. He's like, I've got to keep it going. Like freaking out. It's like, we see you. You know, there's no magic here. It's just you've gotten a lot of people to do your bidding. There is no magic. So we're moving into a new era. And so the controllers are not happy about that. They don't like it because they like their seats of power. They like what the money can get them. They like people doing their bidding. They like using their wordcraft to manipulate people. And that stuff is no longer working. And we're shifting. We're in the chaos right now. We are stepping into that. And usually it might get a little worse, like might get more chaotic. But wouldn't you like to go through this chaotic period with peace and not being affected by it and not letting it bleed off on you to bleed out to other people? Because the humans have been studied so greatly. They know like where the pressure points are, what they'll copy, like what their motivators are. But what if the humans no longer respond to what their motivators are? What if they no longer respond to the pressure points? What if they no longer respond to the psychological terrors of religion? And they start thinking for themselves and not monkey see, monkey do. Oh man, the people that have built the structure freak out and they panic. Like, we got to keep the herd in a panic. Basically, keep them separated and divided. The last thing they want is for you to be at peace and for you to go out your door and be nice to somebody. That's the last thing they want. And who's they? I don't know. Look at your government. Look at the corrupt people in power. Look at the music industry or the movie industry or Hollywood. You know, like look at churches, pastors, the Catholic Church. Look at the systems that men have made. They find a man that can be disciplined in the practices of that system that is either delivering something to somebody or making them feel good or providing something. But then they get these people that will do their bidding and they get more money and they get more money, and then they can pay people to do what they want. And then they realize they have power and they start just becoming very bankrupt internally, and they seek that dopamine hit and they do more and more extreme things which get darker and darker. And so they were not given power by the creator. They usurped it. And somebody that's not humble can't handle power that much. Um, they can't handle it without hurting other people eventually, in my opinion. Um, that being said, like there's a huge shift in power, and the people that are in power are clinging to it. You ever see somebody walk in a room like, man, they have the aura about them, or this power about them, or they have this presence, or they just won't budge, or they won't give, and it's just like this powerful presence. It's like, what is that? What is that? Well, a lot of times that's wordcraft, and that's taught by the secret societies and these different groups that are just in the shadows. They will pick somebody, they'll groom them, and then they'll teach them the wordcraft on stealing people's power. So let's say you have this method of doing something and you don't know the mechanics. So if you use word power, sometimes people say something to you, derogatory statement, and it sticks with you and it makes you mad. It makes you feel weak and you're just upset about it. You want to get them back. That person stole a little bit of your power, energetically speaking, because we may hear the words and it's bouncing around our brain, but there is something happening at the energetic level, and it's craft work being taught to people on how to steal energy and steal people's power. And that's pretty messed up. But when that craft work no longer works and people don't respond, um, where like you get old white men yelling at people about, you better get out of here, you better do this, blah, blah, blah. And the person just stands there like, oh, brother, whatever. They just blow up and they get mad because that's their method of control, of like making somebody a little bit afraid and demand they do something, but when they don't, they get mad. But imagine that on a grand scale. There's all these people in power that people are not obeying them anymore because they see the truth. They see what they're really like. They're not leading for the people. They are leading for power, corruption, to get money or to do their little backdoor deals. So that's happening on a very large scale. So what you're seeing, all this rattling and freaking out, is them just basically throwing a tantrum. It really is. And there can be harmony and there can be peace. And that's not through religion whatsoever. Religion is a farce. It's through going inside and doing that inner work. And when we do that, we start presenting in the world better. And then when we interact with people, they walk away feeling good. They don't walk away feeling like we've stolen from them or trying to one up them in conversation or make ourselves look better by any means, because we're all souls and we're all equal. And if we start treating people equal, things would shift. Because you look at all these other countries, and I've done some deep thinking about this because I've been to war. And I'm really thinking, like, why are these people hating each other so much? It's because they were raised to believe something, that they were better, or they were more righteous, or they had the right way of living, and that these other people were less than, or they have what we want and they believe something bad, so let's go attack them. And that happens amongst America too. Like there's a lot of crime that goes on in America, like right behind the scenes, that's hidden. Rabbit trail. I'm done. Roadhouse, spiritual hard.